Brenda Sandoval is a young woman who died last year. Her family believes they are sure that Brenda was another victim of domestic violence. The authorities have not yet classified the case as a homicide, although there are some inconsistencies that led the police chief of Little Rock to meet with the Sandoval family this week, as they are demanding answers for what they call an uninvestigated homicide.
Brenda Sandoval died last October, according to the family, as a result of domestic violence, after she was, according to them, severely beaten by her partner. Brenda died hours after that altercation inside her home. Tavis says she was found lifeless on the floor by her mother's husband. No, 6 months have passed and the family is not satisfied.
Keith Humphrey told us that they might conduct an internal investigation because there was a lot of confusion from the officers on their part, and that if he promised us that if there was something wrong that the officers might have overlooked, they will conduct an investigation to see what.
For Brenda's mother, it has been 6 months of anxiety. She still believes that her daughter's death could have been avoided, and doubts arise due to a poor investigation of the incident.
Justice, let there be justice for my daughter, and not just for her, also for the other girls who still have no one responsible, like Jenny Salcido, Patty Guardiola, and others who are not mentioned, right? So we want justice, because just because we are Hispanic, they should not ignore us. And everything there is, if we have lived in this community decently and complying with everything the community and the police require of us, why are we going to allow them to come and kill our daughters?
Good evening, good evening. Who do we have here with us today?
Lady Brenda Ortono Sandoval.
All right, well, welcome to StreetMotherz Podcast. And I have you here tonight because I do want to shed light on your sister's story. Can you tell me what your sister's name is?
My sister's name is Brenda Ortono Sandoval. And
Okay.
here's a picture of her.
Okay, so can you tell me what happened to your sister? I want to go into detail with everything.
Mhm.
So let's go ahead and jump into it.
Okay. Well, my sister Brenda was unalived, been almost 4 years ago. And yeah, she was unalived by, she was unalived by her one of the guys that assaulted her was her baby daddy. His name was I forgot what his name was.
Where was he from?
He was from Nicaragua.
Okay. Okay. So he
He was dating my sister for I believe they were dating for about two years before she died, or that around 2 years. His name is Hector.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were dating for about like 2 years, and they had a child together. And so my sister was supposed to pick up her child at the house that he sent her to go get him at, which was in Southwest
Little Rock.
Southwest Little Rock.
Okay.
Yeah. And whenever my sister arrived there, a friend of hers took her there. There was a dispute between them, and my sister ended up being assaulted by this man and his friends. The other guy was also from Nicaragua, and there was a recording of my sister being assaulted. We saw how they assaulted her. Throughout that time, whenever she was being assaulted, um my sister was screaming, for help, and obviously nobody that was there was helping her. And so when the cops arrived and they asked all the questions that, that normally the cops ask, in a dispute, in a domestic battery case, somehow there was like a miscommunication about like the guy's not speaking very good fluent English. So the cops ended up, having somebody translate what the guys were saying.
Upon submitting requests for incident reports, we were told that Little Rock Police Department only assisted in translations,
Which ended up being lies, saying that my sister was the one at the scene, causing trouble, when in fact they had already like assaulted her.
So when you said they were saying your sister was causing trouble, were they saying that she did anything to assault them?
Yeah.
Like hurt them?
Yeah, they were saying that she was the one that had pulled up to assault them, but she was just there to pick up her child. And well, after that, the cops didn't arrest them for what they had done to my sister. And so my sister ended up going home, where later she was found dead,
So
in my mom's house.
okay, so earlier that day, excuse me, she was assaulted and she went home, and you think she
Well, the cops took her home. The cops took her home after the dispute. She got in the car with the cops without shoes, and they drove her home. Like, they didn't arrest the guys because I guess the cops didn't see a reason, I don't know, to arrest them. You could tell in the video that, obviously she had gotten assaulted, and they still, I don't know why they didn't arrest them that day. But the cops ended up driving my sister back to the house, where later she was found dead.
So what was her cause of death?
Well, and whenever it happened, they weren't giving us a cause of death. Like, they said that they had performed an autopsy, but I really don't think that they really performed an autopsy on her, because they lied in her autopsy. They said that, she didn't have any bruises, when literally when we buried her, she was all bruised up, lip was swollen.
Cocaine.
Yeah, they just put that she had died of cocaine overdose or something like that, or even alcohol abuse. Yeah.
And so they didn't acknowledge the fact that she had been beaten.
Although, like, I literally have a picture of my sister in her casket, beat up. And no, they didn't. They waited for us to bury my sister until they said something about my sister not being even assaulted, or there was nothing in her face.
So the police department said that she hadn't even been assaulted.
Yeah, there was
a video of saying that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what agency was handling this case? Little Rock Police Department?
It was the Little Rock Police Department, because the assault happened in Southwest, and then my mom, she lives in the out of the city, so she lives in, what is it, Pulaski County? So that's where the sheriff, yeah. So they had a sheriff come and pick up my sister to drop her off at my mom's place, where later she was found dead.
Yeah. Oh.
I guess I'll say another.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
There's something that needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
Me and her mom sat right there with the sheriff. It makes me emotional too, and that's why they want to get on the camera. But I sat there with the sheriffs, and I told them, I was like, look, man, why ain't y'all arrest these guys? Why ain't y'all deport them? Why ain't y'all do anything? And then, when I had the meeting because I was in the meeting with the police chief of police, and I asked him, I was like, man, what y'all doing out here, man? Y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all ain't doing a fucking thing. And he said, he looked over and he's like, Did the sheriff come out in Little Rock police? Isn't that what he came out here for? Isn't he the sheriff out in Little Rock? Huh. So I'm thinking, is that what they protecting him? Is that why they're protecting each other? I even talked man, because they had a little thing. We were out there rallying and shit. And I talked to Mayor Scott. I told him straight up, man, I wasn't raised to come out here with a gun. I ain't gonna be out here, my kids ain't gonna be out here thinking it's safe. I told Mayor Scott that in his face. And I'll tell him again. You know what I'm saying? Our kids shouldn't be out here struggling. Women shouldn't be out here getting beat.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister, my wife's sister's kids shouldn't have to live, a life by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Just because a motherfucker didn't want to do his job. You know what I'm saying?
So let's talk about that. Let's touch on that. Okay, so so the day that your sister passed away and the police came out there, let's get into the investigation part.
Yeah.
And I usually don't do this early on because we are here. Let's go ahead and talk about what happened with this investigation.
So what happened that day is, I do heat and air or whatever. I'm a contractor and stuff. That's what I do for a living. And I was working, and the guy called me. He was like, man, he called me 3 times that day. And the third time I called him back. I was like, hey, what's wrong? Fuck, this girl's causing trouble. Man, she was shorter than me. I'm 5'6".
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That's why I asked that.
these motherfuckers are 6 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they were there. I don't know why. I answered the phone and I hit record on the screen record. This guy's beating her ass.
And I'm seeing the picture that you just showed me.
No, the other one though. She passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other one?
Yeah. And you don't have to put that on camera if you want to, but I'm just saying what I saw, what you showed me.
Yeah. And
yeah. The guy came out, the sheriff came out. It's on camera right there. He says, I don't know, he speaks or something. I can show you the video. I'll look for it right now. He says that they didn't find anything on her body that could have said that she had gotten beat up.
And I'm looking at the pictures when she was buried.
Yeah.
She's clearly had been beaten up.
Yeah. And really bad. And then whenever you bury a person, they put a bunch of makeup,
They sure
but you
do.
could still see
the
all.
The guy said that she had marks all over her neck, all over her body, and everything. And the cops didn't do that. Look, I can show you the picture on the body cam videos with the cop. I'm telling you, there was a female officer right there. And she's sitting in the passenger side of the car that gave her a ride to the place where all she was going to do was pick up her child.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that's sitting next to her, the guy that gave her the ride, is sitting there talking about, oh, yeah, dude. Telling the police officer now, female officer.
On camera.
Dude,
I just saw her, yeah.
She was getting assaulted. That shit was fucking crazy. She was getting beat up, kicked in her fucking body. Oh, my God, that shit was crazy as fuck. And they didn't do a damn thing.
So do you think a lot of this plays a part in because y'all are Mexican?
Well, I do. Me 100%.
Yeah, I want you to be.
I think that they didn't do anything because the guys that assaulted her were not, U.S. citizens. They were illegal.
That too.
Yeah. And when I say that is because whenever because we basically were the ones that had to do like a whole bunch of like investigation like on who these guys, we didn't even like all these things about them, like this man, like her baby daddy had been like before her death, he ran her off the road when my sister was trying to take her son.
So where are the police reports? Because
they flipped her car. He flipped her car.
Because that's what I'm telling you. Like I can't really find a lot of stuff when I'm looking for your sister.
I have the pictures.
I think that what happens is when, like, let's say the police department gets tired of them. Fuck this guy. Or whatever.
And y'all Mexican. Let's be honest.
They'll deport them.
They gonna deport them. They just look at it like we can send them on back and it's
close the case. Nothing happens.
That's sad.
Like never everything.
Yeah.
This guy, look, when they took her out of her after she was found dead, in her mother's home, took her out her body bag, and we and her cousins, everybody standing out there like, man, this is fucked up. We looking at the motherfucking thing, oh goddamn, this is crazy. And then the detective shows up. I forgot his name.
I wish you knew his name.
My phone's messed up.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't have his name, but I will find it. I can probably find it in my emails right now. This guy right here shows up, looking out, thinking he all that, with nice little dress shoes and shit like that. Talking about, oh yeah, the baby is safe with Hector. You know? But
leave the baby with the man that
had
fought.
a warrant.
Yeah, he had a warrant
beating on her, flipping her car over, and everything.
before she passed away.
I'm living
and not not only that, like when I told you, like she had called the cops when this guy, he was like following her in her car, you know, with her baby in it, and he flipped her car, and there was a police report on that. I have the pictures of the car that was flipped, and her baby was in the car. And so the cops obviously knew him from that situation. They didn't arrest him there. Why didn't they arrest him?
And you said he was undocumented too, right?
Yeah.
So this was before ICE started really doing the crackdown.
Look, at the end of the day, Little Rock, Pulaski County, none of that shit's supposed to be a sanctuary city.
See, that's what, okay, because y'all can explain that more to me than
sanctuary cities.
Right. I know what that is, but
a sanctuary city doesn't cooperate with the ICE. Right?
Okay.
So sanctuary cities are not supposed to, like, let's say you get arrested and then you get booked in the county.
All right.
You get in, let's say I was an illegal, which I'm not. But I'm just gonna say it out there, like,
yeah.
Okay. Let's say I'm an illegal or undocumented, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what proper language is these days, because everybody want to say something different.
Right.
You know, let's say I'm an illegal. I get pulled over today, or during that time, because now it's like, oh, ICE. But let's say I get pulled over during that time. What they would do is, I would just get like a citation, maybe, let go, and then a court date. But it wouldn't even matter, because if I get a court date, I could change my name tomorrow or something. Because if I didn't get booked, I didn't get printed.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you get booked, you get printed.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, you've been arrested. I've been arrested several times.
Yeah.
I've been in the county a couple times. I know how it works.
Yes, that's exactly how it works. Okay.
You get pulled over, you're doing something wrong, or you ain't got no ID on you, because I've been arrested for not having ID on me. It happens. Dark tint.
Yep.
Impounded cars for dark tint. You know, shit like that. That has happened to me.
Okay.
So then, before, like, these guys, they were just, man, there was this girl at Home Depot. I know her. Well, I don't know her personally, but
you better get it together.
No, I already talked to her about it.
No, I'm just joking. The
person works at Home Depot.
Okay.
And saw her thing on about her sister's death and shit like that, and then reached out and said, "Hey man, I used to go out with this guy. The police used to go over there every 2-3 days because they were out there." And shit like that.
There was,
I don't care.
The pictures that I put out of Hector at the time, whenever all this happened, he was holding guns and everything. I mean, we gave all that to the cops, you know.
They didn't do a damn thing.
Nothing. And then after, when this all had
Hector
happened,
had a lot of BS going on too. Yeah.
He was shooting up in Southwest and everything, and people were complaining about it. They had called the cops on him for that too. Like, he did a bunch of things, and you know, for me, I was just like in shock that he was allowed to do so much.
Yeah,
where did your sister meet him at? Here in America?
Here in Arkansas, here in Little Rock.
Oh, here in Little Rock. Okay.
You know better than me.
Yeah.
Or me, or no, whatever. Growing up in the United States, man, you can't get away with this shit.
You can't.
No.
And these guys were getting away with everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
and but it makes sense what y'all saying, that you know, they looking at it like, okay, when we get tired, we just deport them. That we ain't gotta deal with.
Well, you know, and then when all this happened, and when we were burying my sister, you know, all these people started hitting us up on Facebook. You know, the word got around and stuff of what happened to my sister, and it even ended up even in Nicaragua. Like I don't even me personally, I don't know anybody from over there, you know, and they were sending me messages telling me that this guy that my sister was with had you know, like past crimes in Nicaragua, that he had assaulted a woman over there and ended up killing her.
So you know what?
Yeah.
This is something else too that I've been seeing a few stories. So different countries, like they'll kick out the people that, you know, always causing problems, and they just rotate them from country to country.
Yeah.
And they go around doing, you know, a bunch of crimes.
But yeah, and then, you know, even after my sister passed away, you know, like he kept the child. Like the cops,
That's crazy.
The cops let him. My sister didn't have him on his birth certificate.
That's even crazier.
Yeah, he was
the rest.
He even tried to take us to court because he wanted custody of that child.
Because when after she died,
Mhm.
the dude hit me up and he was like, "Hey, Edgar, where you at?" I was like, "Man, I'm eating in the restaurant with my wife. What you need?" You know what I'm saying? I was eating. He was like, "I'm gonna go drop this baby off at you." Dude shows up, 4 dudes deep in the car, probably a little Camry or something, like early 2000s, and this just dropped off a kid. And,
The little boy was like 1 year. He was 1. You know, it was just like, for me, it was really sad that, you know, my sister's kids were not gonna no longer have
their
mother, you know. My mom has custody of the smallest, which is the kid between him and my sister. She has him, and she has her oldest son. The middle child, he has a dad, and he takes care of him.
And how old are her children?
Her oldest is 10, and her youngest, he just started school. He's 4.
So he was a baby when this happened.
A baby. You know, when leading up to whenever all this happened, you know, my sister was trying to get her life together. She had just got a house, and he went to go over there to look at her air conditioning, you know. We were always trying to help her in whatever we could. For me, it was really hard. Like throughout the whole time, I was in shock. I couldn't believe that all this happened to my sister, and all these they basically plotted all this against her. And when I say that, is because, like, after she died, we found out that even the lady that my sister thought was her friend, the one that translated to the cops, which I don't even know why she was allowed to do that. Like, don't they have to have a deputy that speaks English and Spanish to translate? And not only that,
in Spanish, you can hear that woman saying, "Hey, don't say nothing," and the dude saying, "I'm ready to go to jail."
Yeah, and
he
was the guy that had beat her up. He was incriminating himself in Spanish in the video, in the body cam footage.
And the woman in the background, the speakerphone, talking about Spanish. Don't say nothing. Be quiet. Just chill.
And then later on, this lady, you know, after my sister passed, she stole my sister's social security cards and her little kid's birth certificates.
Who was this lady? Friend.
Her name was Cindy. Yeah, Cindy.
You know that remember back in, I think it was COVID. They gave
she
5,000 a kid or something.
Yeah,
she
followed that up.
Yeah, she cashed in on my sister's kids' income tax money, because my sister's kids were born here. They were Americans. They're American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened with that lady?
Well,
you say
you're going to the gas station. You got to go to the restaurant.
I'm gonna go to the gas station.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you good.
You got it, babe?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cute, y'all. Y'all see that? The husband and wife. Y'all see that? Okay. Couple goals. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So okay. You said that they did what with the lady?
Well, she got in trouble for you know, stealing my sister's kids' money from the IRS. You know, my mom was able to get her in trouble for that. Yeah.
So how's your mom taking everything?
My mom is a woman that holds on to faith.
Okay.
She's, you know, at the time when all this happened, like I was the one that had to call her and tell her that my sister was found dead in her house.
How was that conversation with your mom?
It was like at the moment, you know, like I was in shock. I didn't like I couldn't really believe that that was happening and it was true. So I just kind of was asked. The lady that answered the phone was with my mom, and I told the lady. And then later on, they brought my mom to the house where when
So how did you find out?
I found out because my stepdad was the one that found her in the room. Yeah. And he called the cops.
So what okay, tell me about that day. Like, I know about, you know, we've already been through that she, you know, they had, you know, beat her on her and everything and the events that led up to it.
Yeah.
But tell me about when your stepdad went over and found her. Like, how was from point A to point B, what you know of what happened?
Well, when he was there, like he told my mom that he saw her laying down and like the room was the door was open and he saw her feet, and he went and saw, you know, I think he was working and he had got off of work and he
Okay.
was just, you know, he usually turns off the lights at the house,
Mm-hmm.
and he noticed that her feet were right there on the door, and he found her, but she had already been there for a while.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then, you know, whenever the cops dropped her off, like she was able to go. I think she took a shower, and whenever that's why I don't understand in the way that she died, because like things were knocked over too. Like, you know, some of our neighbors said that, and we actually believe that, you know, after they assaulted her and the cops dropped her off, my sister, like we never even got my sister's phone back. Like her phone, like she had her phone.
So if this is a closed case, like you're like, why we can't get the phone
Yeah,
back?
they never gave us her phone. You know, when at the time when she was in there, obviously she took a shower. You know, she was wearing different clothes. And you know, our neighbors, we talked to our neighbors too, and they told us that they had seen the Hector guy come around. So, you know, the cops did never look into that. They never like cared even about those details, you know, that I'm telling you. Like he might have came over there, you know, and still did something to her.
Yeah, because she had been there for a minute.
Yeah.
You see. Okay, so when your stepdad found her and he called everything in, the police came over there. Did anybody hear from Hector or anything after that? Like,
No, we didn't hear back until like what he was saying whenever he was trying to give the baby back to us. You know, his mom just died, and he, I don't know, I really don't understand why he did that. You know, like maybe he was just trying to make it seem like he wasn't involved or anything, you know. But after he did that, you know, obviously we never gave him the child back. He tried to take us to court to, you know, to get custody of the child. But after we told the people at court, you know, all these things that happened, they didn't give him custody of that child.
so what do you think happened to your sister?
I believe that Hector went over there and he, you know, continued to do whatever he was trying to do to her. Or he might have did something or gave her something, you know, a drug or something. Because, you know, Hector was known to hang out with like drug dealers around the area right there. And
So I know this may be an uncomfortable question, but we are here to shed light on your sister's story. But I do want to shed light on the entire story, not just some.
yeah.
So we all have been through some things. So can you tell me, was your sister ever involved in drugs herself?
She well, for a long period of her of time, whenever, you know, before she had her kids, yeah, she did do drugs, you know,
Okay.
which is one of, and you know, which is one of the things that I know that they did not perform an autopsy on her, because, you know, whenever at the time when we were trying to figure out, what was her cause of her death.
Okay.
Me and my mom, we went over there to the autopsy place, and where they perform autopsies on the people. And I took my kids. We were just so desperate for answers.
Yeah.
And I went over there with my mom, and we later found out that the detective that was assigned to her case was present at the autopsy. Like we didn't know why.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that they did not perform an autopsy on her, because they said that her cause of death was, use of alcohol. I'm not really sure. Like, in the videos, she did not look like she was like super wasted.
Mm-hmm.
She was talking good. She was talking to the cops. I remember in one of the points of the videos, she even said to her friend, the guy that was there with her, she was like, "No, you need to chill out. We're talking to the cops." So she was okay. Like, she was speaking okay. So I really don't think that they performed an autopsy either, because she also did smoke weed, and I know during that time, like, me and her hanged out, and I saw her smoking weed. That wasn't in the autopsy. See, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things that I just don't believe that.
That's why I want to kind of get to that question, because we
Yeah.
gotta get down to it, like, because I know that you said that you don't feel like that they did a lot of things.
No. And and after reading the autopsy, even myself, which later they came out and said what was the reason that she had died, I was like, but she smoked weed, like, where's the weed on this? Yeah. It's like they just.
So you feel like it's kind of like a cover up, like
Yeah,
they're just throwing an investigation.
I feel like they just threw something in there so we would stop asking questions.
Okay. And it makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, it was.
She was undocumented.
Yeah.
The easiest way to get the case to go away is to say she died of an overdose.
Yeah. And then not only that, like, the fact that they did not really, like, investigate on those guys when they had all these, like, I have pictures of how many times these guys were, like, they were pulled over, and there was mugshots about them even in the computer system.
But see, the only thing that they were going to say with that, because I know that you are a grieving sister, but that's not really evidence. So they were going to say that regardless, and not, even though y'all have all this evidence showing that they were involved in a lot of different things, they were going to try to use that like that didn't pertain to the case. However, it does show a pattern of their behavior.
Yeah. I feel like they just try to discredit her, and even the cops that showed up that day.
So let's talk about the investigation. We started touching on it, but we didn't get all the way into it. Now, when I first spoke with you, you were kind of telling me about something happened with the internal affairs and the police chief and all that. Let's get into all of that stuff.
Well, after a year, like, I think it was like after a year had passed, I went to the internal affairs, to tell them all this. Like, I told them all of this, and I felt like I wasn't given, like, my sister wasn't, they just didn't treat this case like how it should have been treated, and all they ever did after that was write me a letter saying that I hope your experience with the cops is a better one next time. That's what the letter said. I still have it. Yeah.
So you got this letter.
Yeah.
After you said you filed something with them, or what made them write you this letter?
Because whenever we were going with the investigations and stuff, we hired a lawyer.
Okay.
So we hired a lawyer to, the reason that we know so much about what happened that day was because we looked into it. Like, we hired a lawyer to have so we can get the body cam footage of my sister being in the car, and we have all those videos too of my sister's last moments in the car with the cops.
And so when y'all saw that video, what were the cops saying in the car with your sister before they took her home?
They were really not saying much. They weren't saying anything, and like he was saying, there was a lady cop that was there, and the whole time, like you can even see her on one of the videos. She was just like fixing her hair, you know, like just not really caring about the fact that there was a woman that just got assaulted by men, and they're telling her that she just been assaulted. It was like she didn't care. You know,
She just at work.
yeah, it was just like another day, and she was just flipping her hair. It was just like another day at work. Like, you know, a woman just got assaulted, you know, and
So what do you want?
and then that woman,
Go
no,
ahead.
in the video, my sister was telling the woman, she was telling the female cop, they beat me, they were gonna kill me. Yeah, my sister's voice is in those videos saying that, telling this woman cop, you should have seen how they beat me. They were hitting me. They wanted to kill me. And my sister was telling her in English. And then she was just like, oh, you just hanging tight. You just hanging tight. You know?
And that's their word.
My sister peed her pants in the videos. Yeah, they didn't even let her walk out. Like, they didn't even let her go to the bathroom. They just had her sitting there in the cop. Like, they basically were treating, that's why I said, like, the cops discredited my sister that day.
Okay, so I'm kind of getting stuck on this investigation because I'm listening to what you're telling me. And it does kind of seem like y'all are being written off because of the fact that she was Mexican, she was undocumented. Did they know at the time that your sister was undocumented?
Yeah, they knew my sister. All the cops around that area knew my sister because you know, like I was telling you, like she had a toxic relationship with this man. The cops knew him. So they knew very well who my sister was. They even knew where she lived. They knew where my mom's house was. They knew where to drop her off.
So what happened with the guy? You said that they deported him, right?
Yeah, that was after, you know, like I think it was like 2 or 3 years passed after he got deported, but it wasn't for what happened, what they did to my sister. One of the guys, they used to call him El Goleador, and he was the one that assaulted, one of the ones that was there assaulting my sister, the one that you see in the body cam footage, saying in Spanish, oh yeah, I did that to her. He was saying that in Spanish.
And he locked up he's deported too, right?
Yeah, because later on, after that incident, that what he did to my sister, I think it was like a year later, he ended up crashing into an older white woman, and he ended up getting locked up for that.
So how do they have ties to, I know how you said y'all been here since you were young, but how do you know how Hector and them had ties? Hector and this guy, I can't say his name, Eduardo. I can't say that, baby.
Hector, no, they used to call him El Goleador, but
okay, I ain't gonna even try to say that.
But his name was, I have a picture right here because I had all this stuff. Okay, his name. Okay, so his name was Palacios Carrion Harvin, and this is him.
Okay, so how do you know? Do they have family in Arkansas? How did they get to Arkansas? Do you know? Did your sister ever talk about how she met?
Hector has family here. He has family here.
Okay, yeah. Because I was wondering, like, how did they get connected with Arkansas? Okay. So, he's gone back. The guy gone.
Yeah, they're deported. They're deported. They went to jail. Well, this guy, I heard. Well, you know, the streets, they talk, right? Okay. So that in the streets, they were saying that after he crashed that lady, he ended up going to a psychiatric place. Yeah, because he was